Howdy, friends and floorheads. Today, I'm thrilled to share something extraordinary. Maeve, Jesse, Troy, and I are diving into For the Queen by Alex Roberts, a unique storytelling game that promises an unforgettable experience. If you haven't heard or seen this game yet, you're in for a treat. For the Queen is not just a game. It's an interactive storytelling experience. We craft an incredible narrative together, filled with emotion, tension, and unexpected twists. The premise is simple. We're on a dangerous journey with our queen, who we are bound to protect. But here's the catch. We will face serious questions about our loyalty, personal feelings, and just how far we're willing to go for her. This game is fantastic because every card draws you deeper into the story, leading to intense drama, heartfelt confessions, and even betrayal. It's not just a game. It's a shared experience that lets us explore our characters and relationships in sometimes funny, sometimes heartbreaking, and consistently engaging ways. So if you're ready for some deep character moments, surprising choices, and maybe a few shocking revelations, you won't want to miss this. I'm excited to see where this journey will take us, and I hope you are too. We've skipped over the rules reading, but know that we are using safety tools like all the plays on this channel. Let's play For the Queen. So what I want to do is something a little different. So I am going to actually deal 3 queens to each one of us. You'll see it in your hand, and then just play to the table by dragging and dropping out of your hand the one that you want. So I'm going to deal. We're going to do all players. Everybody gets 3. All right. You should now see a little 3 next to your name. And if you click on it, you should be able to see 3 illustrations of 3 different queens. You pick the one you like the best and draw it to the table. And what this will end up doing is kind of dictating for us kind of the setting and everything. So I've picked my queen. Ooh, I like that one. Oh, I like that one too. I like that one too.
Queen, let's do it.
All right. Did I see the 4th one there? Oh, how did we get 2 of them? Oh, all right. Who's missing here? Did 2 of you pick the CEO queen?
I had the CEO queen.
Okay.
Oh, that's weird that it dealt a duplicate. All right. So do me a favor, Troy. Pick one of your other 2 that are left.
All right. I will pick this one.
Oh my God. Okay.
I go from one extreme to the other.
That's right.
Ooh,
All right. I love the idea because I've always played this as a fantasy game. I love the idea of the CEO queen.
That was exactly my thought. That's cool. Such an interesting.
All right. All right. So that is going to be our queen. All right. So let me hide the queen deck, hide the rules cards, and I will bring out the question deck. And I will draw the first card. So this is for me. So for those of you that haven't played before, we don't really know who we are yet. Our characters will emerge from the questions that we answer. After someone answers their prompt, it's great if people follow up with more questions, right? So after I answer this, if you have more questions for me, go ahead and ask them. At any time, I can stop the questions and we can go to Maeve. When was the last time the queen embarrassed me? So I have been her admin, I think for about a year now. And I'm young, I think. I think this may be my first job. And the previous admin very specifically said to me, she likes her coffee with 2 sugars, 2 creams. If you do nothing right, get that right. First day on the job, I come in, I bring her a coffee with 2 creams, 2 sugars, and she throws it against the wall and tells me it's garbage. It's too sweet and too light. I bring her a coffee with 1 cream, 1 sugar. She drinks it and loves it. Then did the same thing to me the next day, saying it was not light enough, not sweet enough, and demanded that I give her 2 creams, 2 sugars. And it was in front of all of her senior executive staff. And she did it. I could tell she did it just to kind of make sure she put me in my place.
When did she stop?
I felt like it's been a hazing. Since then, I think I've proven myself to her, and I actually like my job now. But every once in a while, I'll see that part of her come out, and sometimes I'm the target, or sometimes other people the target, and I don't like this about her at all.
Was the outgoing administrative assistant fired or quitting?
No, she quit. Okay. She quit. But she quit for a better job. So the other thing I think that is enticing about this is like working for her is a great stepping stone to much better things, either within her company or even outside of the company. Because if you can work with her at any capacity, like, people will hire you, because she does not put up with incompetence.
Okay.
What was the moment, the small thing that she did or said, that gave you the reason to still be here?
I think it was the first time she asked me to read over one of the speeches she was going to be giving at a conference.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't have any notes or anything, but just the fact that she gave that to me, I think, was like when I realized that she was going to trust me and actually take me seriously. All right, I'm going to go to you now, Maeve. There's yours.
When was the last time the Queen criticized you, and why have her words stayed with you? So, I am on the Queen's PR team, and I was supposed to be heading the last project that we did, which was basically just a very big advertisement for effectively just building her popularity campaign, to try to get all of the citizens to be more on board with all the stuff she's been doing, because we know that she can be a little hard to like get along with all the, you're trying to make her look more softer and nicer. And when she criticized me was that I wrote a speech for her, and about halfway through the speech, she decided she didn't like it and started going off the prompter. And when she did, the speech wasn't well received. Yes. And the speech wasn't well received. So she blamed the speech and not going off prompt.
Has she since... do you think she learned her lesson, Maeve, or is she still convinced it was you, not her?
Oh, it's absolutely still my fault.
Yeah.
Why do you still stay?
Because it's a great opportunity. I have a really, really good team. And honestly, she stood up for me in the past before on other times when other people in the company felt like I was struggling, specifically when I started.
How have you been getting your petty revenge? What have you been sneaking into the speeches that she doesn't catch yet?
Little double innuendos, double entendres, that's the word. That like words that I realized that she doesn't fully understand the full meaning of, but they make sense in the context. So there are words that like anybody who has like a good ear for PR knows that that's not exactly what she means, but they sound good.
Very nice. We ready for Jesse?
The Queen has ordered you not to speak to another member of the retinue. Who? And do you know why?
Getting spicy.
So, yeah, look, I don't really understand why people have these like negative things to say about the Queen. She's amazing. She's amazing. and has been really responsive to all the needs of my team. And, this one time we were reaching out to the team and said, hey, she seems pretty busy. I know she wouldn't mind helping out. I asked her assistant to help us out with ordering just some food and getting some things set up and making sure that this conference we're doing, we had some big wigs coming into town from Japan, just making sure that, everything was going to be set up right. And that is the first time I have ever seen her truly livid. And I was told never to go through or even to contact or speak with her assistant at all, which has really put me in kind of a weird place. But, our team, we're muddling through, we're getting things done, and we're just, hopscotching as we need to. So I just emailed the queen pretty directly, and that's working out okay.
Do you have a sense of her motive on that? Was she protecting me, or were you violating a boundary for her? What do you think was going on there?
Well, at first I worried it was just being a super micromanagey, and worried that, I'm not trusting her people. But then I listened to one of her speeches where she was talking about the project we've been working on, this bridge we've been designing. And I started catching these really interesting, double entendre. Hey, Vegas rules, right? Look, I think she might have a thing for me, and it might be a little bit of jealousy. So I don't know. It's just theories.
Mm-hmm.
What has made you recently start thinking about breaking that command?
Ooh. Well, I did what I was told, right? It's been good. It's been fine, but it's been 6 months. And I haven't really been giving any other messages. And look, I'm not that guy. I'm not going to pursue. I'm not going to push and all that. I just got things maybe we just move on with things. But if it was going to be in the workplace, I wouldn't really worry about it. But then I realized, hey, I actually live in the same neighborhood as the assistant. Saw her jazzercising at the gym on the way through, and it's put thoughts in my head. I got to say, haven't acted on them, but there are thoughts.
We ready for Troy?
Yeah. The queen made you feel something you've never felt before. Do you want it to happen again?
Super spicy.
I felt jealous.
Ooh.
She's been given a little special treatment to Jesse. And I've seen them, what I perceive as flirting. And my character is part of the event planning crew. I'm the head chef. And, I'll always make her special meal on Fridays. But lately she hasn't been taking my special meal because...
Is that what the kids call it these days?
Yeah.
Talk about double entendres.
Because Jesse's been bringing her some kind of bagel with schmear or something that looks horrible, but she seems to enjoy it.
I have no questions to see Jesse or Maeve.
What else has she done to sort of give you that idea, or what have you noticed that might make you think that she's doing it on purpose to you?
Because she comes down to the kitchen with that bagel in her hand and just eats it in front of me while she's talking to me. And she knows that drives me absolutely crazy.
All right.
So
go ahead, Jesse.
Despite that jealousy, you are absolutely important to her and how she runs this organization. What is the truth? What's the secret there that you know?
Well, I exceed her expectations when it comes down to the special events. She gives me a theme, and my team and I, we pull it off and go way above what she's expecting. I stay because we're pretty much autonomous down there. She just gives us, we're having these special guests. And so we're like under the radar, but still noticed.
All right, I'm going to go. What do you do that pleases the queen on this journey? I'm imagining the five of us are on the company jet. I think we're headed to Japan. And I think that is our journey. Essentially, things with the Japan office. This is a true partnership. There's a CEO there. She has equal power with that CEO in this partnership. Things have been not going well. And, this is the meeting that's going to decide whether both companies survive or not. She has got, I think, a good plan to take over and absorb and get rid of him. But we're going to have to see. So on the plane, I think I have done a very good job of keeping people away from her. This might be the biggest meeting of her career. And everybody wants audience with her all the time. And I have been playing intercept the entire flight. Every time someone wants to get close to her, I come up with a reason for that not to happen. And she's actually, there's part of, I think, this journey she's really enjoying. And that is that, like, she's had time to herself. I think that's been a big deal.
So how are you keeping people away on a plane?
So she's definitely got her own kind of suite towards the front of the plane. And then we have got all of our staff and boardroom and everything in the back end of the plane. And it depends, right? I've had some situations where I've kind of BS'd, come up with excuses. She's on the phone, she's sleeping, something along those lines. There's been a couple times, and I think I got in a little bit of tissy with you, Jesse, where I had to exert my authority and say, hey, look, you piss me off, you're pissing her off. And I'm telling you, you're not going up front. And so it's been a mix, Troy.
Okay.
Ready, mate? Go, Jesse.
When you were telling me off and you realized that was a little bit of a turn on, and I began the awkward flirting, who got through for 1 minute? Who went past for 1 minute?
So if you're okay with this, Jesse, I'm going to be a he/him as well. And I think what's happening is there's been a bit of a dance where we both are trying to figure out whether this is okay. Right? Because unlike the assumed heterosexual norm, we've always in our life had to go, and a touch here and a thing here. So I feel like what happened was, one, you saw a very assertive side of me, which I get a feeling you didn't hate. And as I was delivering the business and asserting myself, I held on to your arm a little too long, and I did that on purpose. And I think maybe you have an idea that feelings are mutual.
Okay.
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Oh God! Speaking of queer, maybe it's your turn.
The queers, you arranged for the queen to be ambushed on this journey.
Ooh.
What did they offer you?
Ooh.
So,
Holy shit!
there is a rival firm, and they are neck and neck with our company. And this project that we're working on, that we're going to Japan, will absolutely secure our dominance in the market. So the rival company has offered me their position that is just under partner if I was to do something to sabotage this project.
So how does this count as an ambush, though, Maeve? So what kind of ambush is going to happen while we're over Europe or over, like, you know what I'm saying?
On this episode of Air Disasters.
Yeah.
No, they are going to run a very specifically planned PR assassin piece.
While she's in the air.
Yeah. And it's going to hit the New York Times. It's going to hit CNN. It's going to hit MSNBC. It's going to hit Fox. And some of that information has been offered by me.
Oh, shit.
But just in a way that, like, it can't be rolled back to me.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's good.
On the newsstand in the airport, about 20 feet past customs. I think that's where she sees it.
We'll have to find out. All right. Jesse, you ready?
Obviously, I sometimes think I might be the queen's favorite. Why? And why does this worry you? Well, I mean, I already know, and I'm talking to you. I feel like I share a lot with you here. I know that I got to keep my voice down. It's on a plane. I know, but I just think she's had these feelings for me, but she never really wants to follow through with it. But I mean, I occasionally get these special permissions and advantages, and I try not to abuse it too much. But I don't really know where it's going. Well, yeah, we'll talk about it later. But I worry, like, if we never like define what that is, I also don't know where I might be crossing a line. Does that make sense? Like, where is the line if you don't even know what the relationship is? Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say she's spiteful, but she has opinions on things. And, my team's been doing great, but my second in command does a lot of the work.
Is she currently in a relationship, do you think, Jesse? Or is she single?
So I think she's single. There's a rumor out there that she's on the apps, but never for more than a night or two. Mm-hmm. But I think she's single. I think this is somebody who's really dedicated to their work and would be utterly destroyed if that was ripped out from underneath her.
And what has happened recently that makes you think that rumored relationship has broken up, that gives her an opportunity to pursue you if she wants to? What, like, inside information have you gotten?
Her rumored relationship with... So can I get a little clarification? Are you thinking with work or like...
No, her personal relationship. Like, you've heard rumors of this personal relationship, but you've also heard recent rumors that things are on a rocky stand. And you think that maybe that's why she's increased pursuit of you.
I know it's weird, but for the first time ever, while we were loading up and waiting for this jet to be going, she brought up somebody's kids.
Interesting.
I've never heard. I do not think she understood that people exist below the age of 21 before that moment. But she was talking with some of the food service guys about it. I don't know what the deal was there, but yeah, she started talking about kids.
Very interesting. Ready, Troy?
Yeah. Golly.
Read it out.
What did you bring with you that endangers the queen? Ooh. To feed off of Jesse, you hear me get off the phone. Listen, Dad'll be home. I'm going to need that house clean by the time I get home. And don't be throwing no wild parties. You're not kids anymore. As long as you're living under my roof, there'll be no destruction of my property. And then I hang up. And I realized I was talking kind of loud. And the rumor is that, from what Jesse was saying, is that she's been dealing with someone who has kids.
Interesting. Interesting.
What endangers her.
What did you bring with you?
I bought a love letter that she wrote me.
Nice.
That she confessing her love and her dedication and wanting to be a good mom and worrying about being a good mom.
You must make a mean fucking bagel.
It's the Chateaubriand, bro.
Damn.
Classic, bro.
All right. Let's see what I've got. Part of you wants this proposed alliance to fail. Why? The only danger to my career is getting fired. As much as I've talked about, moving on from this company, either within the firm or to get hired by another firm is a great stepping stone. My next step will be, a 4x change in my lifestyle, in my salary and everything, unless I get fired. So there's a really weird little part of me that says, if she gets taken down in Japan and the firm folds, I have not been fired. And I, like a lot of the other, everybody else here on the plane, we're going to get scooped up immediately, right? Because if you have any tenure with her, everybody knows you're hyper competent. You have a thick armor. You are very good at what you do. And we will all, none of us will go a day of not being employed unless we choose to take a day off, because we will be scooped up. So there's a little part of me that goes, well, this makes it easy. I don't have to resign. I don't have to ask her for a promotion. And I am not waking up in the morning going, today I could be fired.
What company has courted you a little bit to make you feel that confident?
It has actually been not a company. It's been two competing political campaign groups. Two different campaigns. We're in presidential season. I've got two campaigns that have come to me that really think that I could add value. And that's a part, that's a trajectory I'm up for. I've always kind of wanted to get involved in politics. I've always wanted to be part of, political campaigns, and the idea of leaving something a little boring like an architectural firm and going into something that's a little bit more exciting for me. I kind of like that idea. And that's putting that evil thought in my head. Now, if in some weird world, I was the decision maker, I decided heads or tails for her, I would choose success. I want her to succeed. I want her to do well. But it's this little dark part of me that goes, it's not the end of the world if this alliance fails.
Do you find your stress level higher or lower thinking about this alliance?
I want it to be over, Troy. What's stressing me out is not knowing. That's what's stressing me out, right? So honestly, I just want it to be finished. I want it to be Thursday.
Right.
And because on Thursday, we'll know. We'll know either that we are now the second largest, architectural firm in the world, or the firm doesn't exist anymore and we've been absorbed by Japan. And either way, at least I'm not worried. I'm not coming up with two plans, and I just have to worry about one plan.
Right. Cool.
Maeve.
Me. You see a side of the queen that no one else has. Do you hope to see it again? So, part of the reason that I am willing to take this risk to put her out is that I have seen the nastiest side of her. The side of her, during one of the campaign ads. We were working on advertising. We were working on promoting the company when we thought that it would be good to have her in the front of the company speaking, which we realized very quickly that was a terrible idea. I watched her just absolutely obliterate someone who was just in the way. It was just a person that was in the way, just a person trying to do their job. And she just went to town on them. I've been working with her for a very long time. I respect her in so many ways, but I think that was the cracking point. And honestly, I kind of want to see it again so that it could possibly be put out in a more public spin to humble her just a little bit.
Are you, Maeve, using this as an excuse to justify your betrayal?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
The petty is strong in me.
Take it easy, petty rebel.
Can you describe, after she destroyed this person, you're just looking on, the look she gave you immediately after?
It was one of, this could be you. Stay in line or this could be you. And the fact that I had been loyal to her for so very long, the fact that my PR group is part of what catapulted us into the space that we are now. Right. And I don't get the recognition for that, which is normal for PR. That's fine. But when she shot me that look that said that I am as replaceable as this peon, that was it. I was done.
Ready, Jesse? Ooh.
The queen thinks more highly of you than you do of yourself. How do you know this? Because I'm not fired yet. So I'm a couple drinks in on this plane, okay? And I know I'm bugging you, but I gotta talk to you a little bit more. And I said before that, like, my second in command, like, she does all the work. She does all the work. And like, nobody knows it yet. Nobody knows it. Like, it's just, nobody's talking about it. But I think, I know I can't do this, but she keeps giving me credit for all this. And I've even tried to, like, own up to it a couple of times because I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be crappy, but she just keeps, encouraging me and saying, it's like, you're great, you're wonderful, and I'm here to support you in all the ways. And I feel a little guilty about it because all that, I really should be going somewhere else. But
does she know? Does she know that it's really not you doing the heavy lifting?
I think I've got guilt because I think she knows.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still getting the credit.
Is it because she thinks you could do better, or is she rubbing her nose on it?
If she's rubbing my nose in it, I'm too blithe to have noticed. It's more that I think, again, I go back to, obviously she must like me in some way. And so she's sort of protecting me, and now I feel bad because I'm being given the accolades that belong to somebody else. And much as I do to support my staffer and make sure that they get some credit, it's hard when she's in these meetings with the big wigs and she keeps trotting my name out.
Has your staff shown any jealousy towards the queen's preference for you over them?
I think my staff has been too afraid. They've been seeing what's been going on.
Of her or you?
Of her. They've been seeing what's going on with the PR firm.
Got it.
And they've been seeing the noise and the heat that can come down. And so right now, they are happy to have me as a blocker.
You keep touching the sun. Very nice. Very nice. All right, Troy, you are up, sir.
All right.
Oh, this is good.
What brings out the queen's kindness? You know what they say when you want breakfast in bed, date a chef. What brings out her kindness and what people don't see is that when she's around me, I just let her be her. She's not the queen. She's not the CEO. She's not this dragon lady. She is just this soft and really feminine young, woman who just wants to be understood and cared for in a certain way. And this is the part that drives me crazy because Jesse is getting these accolades and all this stuff, and everyone knows that he is an empty box character. He just carries around an empty box and looks busy.
Mm-hmm.
In the kitchen, we call him motion light. He only looks busy when someone's around.
Yeah.
So that's what brings
a
out
courier bag. Thank you.
Okay.
Really expensive one.
Right. Rich Corinthian leather.
What do her pajamas look like?
Her pajamas. She wears the nice silk. She wears my favorite color, purple. The nice silk pajama set, matching top and pants. Just very relaxed. Yeah. Because my kids are like young adults, so she's not just around the house just being all like like
So she's met the kids.
Of course. That's why I got a love letter. Don't be mad, Jesse.
When was the last time the queen gave you a compliment, and why have her words stayed with you? I think it meant a lot to me because three other people that I respect, Chef Troy, Jesse, and Maeve were in the room. And she said, and not in any type of like snarky way, she said, Craig, you're not going to be with me for very long. You have already exceeded this job. And I think that's obvious to everybody. And she just like freaking said it. And I was stunned because my conversations with the previous assistant, Julie, her and I are still friends. All I ever heard from Julie was the bad stuff. I'd never heard this part of the queen before. So I feel like in my head, like I've exceeded even Julie at this point. I have really have impressed her. I probably care a little too much about what she thinks. So there's that too. And that's probably not good. There's part of me that's aware of that, but yeah, that was a big deal because, I don't realize Jesse is emotion light. I think I'm kind of with the queen, but the queen sees through it. I don't. I think Jesse is incredibly good at what he does. I know Maeve is incredibly good at what she does. And Troy is just not only fantastic, but like just great to be around. Troy, I'm imagining you and I have spent many, many times down in the cafeteria. Just like I can just tell you anything and you can just tell me anything, though I don't know the thing.
Right.
And for her just to say that, it meant a lot to me. And I think that it makes me hate that little part of me that wants her to fail.
When she said that to you, you turned around and somebody quickly stifled a jealous look. Who was it?
Fucking Susan in accounting.
It's always fucking Susan in accounting.
Damn, Susan.
Fucking Susan.
Yeah. And I think what she said is something, and it was kind of like making a joke, making light of it, because it was a really like out of left field comment from the queen, right? And I think all of us were a little uncomfortable because it was not like her just to lay out a compliment like that. And, Susan essentially said, Now imagine Craig was as fast as Julie was and didn't take so long to do everything. And everybody kind of laughed. I laughed, and it was kind of like, a joke, but it freaking stung. It stung. But she's not winning any popularity contests in the firm anyway. So I've gotten over it.
Don't worry, Craig. Susan's has a gluten intolerance, so it's a little extra wheat in her in her oatmeal this morning. So don't worry about it.
Ooh, this is interesting. If you left or were dismissed from the Queen's service, what life would you return to?
Return to? What a great God! Wow, Alex is so good at this.
That's a go in there.
So, before I was part of her firm, I was actually a political PR person. She scalped me from a political campaign. So unlike Craig, who was wanting to go from this to politics, I was trying to get my way out of politics. But I know that I am good at what I do, and I know that politics is a arena for me to be able to play not only the things that I do, but sort of play the weird little games that I like to play. And politics is a perfect place to do that, even if it doesn't pay me as much and doesn't have the gravitas that this place is. So I imagine I would probably return back to politics.
What's the real reason that you got 2 political campaigns to reach out to Craig? And did he deserve it?
Oh, so I've seen what Craig is doing. And I think that he is very talented at what he does, which I know could pose a problem if I am trying to get my spot at this other place, if I'm trying to prove myself to this other place. So I need Craig out of the way, but I respect Craig enough to not just assassinate his career. Mm-hmm. So I want him to move on to a place and not be there, rather than just find a way to remove him. Because like my pettiness doesn't really like move to other people. It's really based on the fact that I have not gotten any respect from her.
Maeve, what is the real reason you have never started your own PR firm? Why have you always worked for somebody else?
So the real and true reason for it is that I have several children that have gotten older, and one of them is kind of in a bad way and has done some very questionable things. And I've spent a lot of time trying to keep that out of my personal and my professional life. And so I'm worried that if I start my own PR firm, if that gets out, I will lose people. Whereas this company or another big company has the space to protect me from that.
It has the muscle, right? It doesn't make you as vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's good.
What kind of games do you like to play, Maeve?
Oh, I am without a doubt the pettiest person here, with maybe in response.
We mean in the game for the Queen, Maeve.
Yeah. Well, in general, anyone that knows me knows that if you hit that petty button hard enough, things will be very spicy from there on.
Take it easy, Pettygrass.
Keep making up names. I love it. But yeah, that's it. I like to play these little like petty games. I like to see how people respond when that pressure is turned up on them, to see if they are good enough to stay with this game. Because it's not necessarily about being an asshole. It's about making sure the people that are involved in the projects that I do are good enough to stay in the position they are, which is why my latest petty pushes have been towards Jesse. Because I don't necessarily trust that Jesse is as good as his job as Jesse seems to be.
Damn it, Jesse.
Speaking of Jesse.
What do you do that disappoints the queen on this journey?
Ooh.
So I think I've definitely gotten too deep in my cups, and I'm off kilter right now because it's always been women before. A couple. I mean, college doesn't count. I'm in a space right now, and I'm drinking through the And I think that
space. I'm going to steal that, Jesse. That's good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think that means that when she does come out of the room for a moment, just kind of see, because Craig's a little bit late on getting a thing in, but and just to throw a note out there, says something weird to the food people. I don't know what that was. I don't know. I thought she was touching my shoulder, but I don't know. Look, I'm totally focused here. Okay. Yeah, she really touches shoulders. Like, oh yeah. Sorry, boss. What did you ask? Yeah, I don't know. Ask Sharon. Whatever. And I essentially just give her the answer that reveals I don't know what I'm talking about right there. And I'm not
hammered.
Drinking at high altitude.
Mm-hmm.
What information do you give me that will absolutely lock down this assassination piece?
Ooh. So it's information I would have. I think she asks me for a report on a faulty design and a solution that was already, pre-figured out, but we want to make sure that stage is just not even revealed. But that fault is in part of our earlier pitch, and we're trying to cover it up without her ever seeing it. And what I reveal is that I didn't actually work on the redesign or the rewrite at all. And I give you the name of who has that information. And it's the person who's happy to see me go.
Oh.
Damn it.
The plot thickens.
I like this. Let me switch right to my screen here. The queen trusts you, but no one else in the court does. Why? Because I am the invisible one. She sees all y'all on a pretty much daily, hour by hour basis. And really, I'm just in the kitchen. I'm under the radar, but still seem important to the company. So people get jealous of that, because it's like I don't get in trouble. I don't get in trouble when things blow up the kitchen, unless I serve bad food or we serve bad food that day. But we're above the fray, so to speak.
Troy, why do I spend at least one like late afternoon a week just shooting the shit with you in the kitchen if I don't trust you?
Because I let you talk without being judgmental or offering advice.
So maybe I never tell you anything really juicy.
Right. You just give me the how you feeling,
But you're invisible enough that maybe I don't take you seriously. Maybe I think it's not much different than me talking to the,
I'm the hired help. You think I'm the hired help? Yep.
That makes sense to me. So I would never give you anything that belongs 4 floors up from where we're talking. But I might talk to you about how they stopped making blueberry cereal, and it really makes me mad.
Or how come this muffin has three blueberries and this other one has 10?
Exactly.
So
when Craig comes down and he talks to you, and it's so regular now, it's like, it's 1:15. Here comes Craig. You're just so used to setting things aside. Every time you think about telling him something the boss said about him once, what aren't you telling Craig?
What am I not telling Craig? Well, besides my relationship with her, I don't tell him how she really appreciates what he does for her.
Why not?
Even though you know that would mean the world, to her, right?
Right.
Yeah. Why do you keep that?
Well, like most chefs, we don't want you to get a big head and start thinking that you're bigger than what you are, and then get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, so you're in your own way protecting me.
Yeah, I know how.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know how she is, and I do let you in on one secret. And after the whole coffee debacle, just send her black coffee and just bring her some creams and some sugar so she can make her own coffee. That's what she really wants.
Before we skip to the next one, which person on this plane has verbally questioned the reason that you are here on this journey with us?
Ooh, of the three of us, who has questioned whether you should be even on this plane? That's a good question, Maeve.
Maeve, because she's the PR. Why? This is a big thing. Why is the chef here? Why is he here? Right. Yeah. And I said, because I make her coffee the way she likes it.
I bet you do.
Ooh, this is good. The queen has a pet name for me. Do I appreciate it?
Ooh.
She calls me... What does she call me? She calls me her second in command.
Ooh.
And she says that, but everybody knows it doesn't mean what it means, right? Everybody knows that I am in no way involved in the day-to-day work of the firm. But she will often say, I need my second command here. Can you get my second in command? And man, it's tough because sometimes when she says it, it's complimentary. And sometimes she says it very sarcastically, like second in command, right? And she will flip back and forth with it. And the three of you have heard it both ways. And I don't appreciate it. I would appreciate it if she, would either, call me by my name, which she never does. Or even, God forbid, call me Mr. Shipman in the same way that I address her. I've never used her first name. So no, I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate having a pet name.
Who has shown resentment for that pet name?
Oh, Jesse.
Oh, Jesse.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's only made the Craig Jesse thing even weirder. Like, we didn't need her help, right? Right. We're making it weird on our own.
Do I resent that you have a thing, or that I don't have that thing?
Yeah,
that it's in the way of our thing.
Exactly. And when she's being mean to me, you don't like that, but you kind of like it when she's mean to me because then she's not being mean. Like it's fucking complicated.
So, what pet name did you give yourself, Craig?
Oh.
Craig.
Okay.
Craig.
Yeah. I'm a grown ass man.
Weird. Craig. What a name.
Yeah. I'm a grown ass man.
I call myself Craig.
That's right.
Oh, boy.
Man, I'm a son of a man.
When was the last time the queen was gentle with you?
Ooh.
Oh. So last year, we had a New Year's Eve party. It was not a company New Year's Eve party. I was invited to her personal New Year's Eve party. She was a little more relaxed and a little in her cups. And she started really thanking me for the work that I had done over the years and how much she felt like I had pushed this company to the forefront of the industry and the public's opinion.
That's pretty cool. Why was I, Jesse, and Troy not invited?
I think because she knew that I was getting frustrated. She knew that she had been very, very hard on me. And this was her way of, whether it was genuine or not, this was her way of saying, hey, you're really like important to me. And I want you to stay. I want you to feel like you are something special in this company. Because I feel like I have been in this company longer than anybody else, any of you. Like I was one of the first hires after they started expanding.
Love that. Ready, Jesse? Ooh.
What brings out the queen's cruelty? Okay, so like betrayal, obviously. So like we should be sitting down. We should be sitting down and talking. Like this isn't even a thing. We should be sitting down. But I mean, betrayal is an obvious thing, but that's not the thing. I think when she gets like truly just the nastiest is, I think it's when she thinks she doesn't have control of the narrative. When, like anytime she thinks that somebody else is writing the script for this moment, for what's going on, she will find a puppy and punt it across the plane. It is vicious. And so, yeah, just whatever you, I know you're pretty good at handling her, you're second in command or whatever that is. But just make sure she like always knows that's, hey man, that's what I do. I just make sure that she knows that it's her story, you know?
How does she square that circle, Jesse, knowing that the firm would not be where it is without Maeve? Had Maeve not been so good at what she does, I think our queen knows that the firm would not be as big as it is. And how do you think she squares that circle? She wants to control the narrative. She wants to be in control of the story. But really, it's been Maeve's talent that's gotten us here. How does she square that circle?
I think it's always conflict.
Yeah.
Even working with a script, trying to follow that, literally following somebody else's script for a presentation and making these choices, going off script to try and demonstrate, I do have, this is me. This is mine, which just ends up, it just starts more fights, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We can move on. I think that's good.
Yeah, I agree. Troy?
Okay. Oh,
God damn it.
So real quick, I love.
Shush.
Okay. We'll come to the end.
Gotta let Troy do this on his own.
Other than the queen, there is someone else in the retinue that you love. Why are you keeping it a secret? God, it's Susan an accountant. No.
Well, and Troy, understand that the retinue isn't just the four of us, right?
Yeah,
you can expand the retinue. You can create a new character if you want.
So,
or it can be one of us. It's totally up to you.
It's the new hostess, Tanya, who is just a lovely woman. Very pleasant to talk to, easy to be around. It's not a competition when I'm around her, and we just vibe. After you leave, after your 1:15 therapy session, we spend the next 15, 20 minutes sipping on tea and eating some kind of dessert in the, not in my office, but like in the cafeteria where we're out in public, so it doesn't seem too sketchy.
Does it make you nervous that she's my sister?
Not at all. If you can't stand the heat, you can't be in the kitchen. I think she's a lovely addition to the kitchen. And I look at Craig every once in a while and I just kind of, hey, your sister's really nice. Thank you. She's a good worker.
What happened that you feel like the queen almost caught on?
She caught us in my office chatting, and Tanya had her hand on my shoulder and not in that kind of very awkward, like, I like you way. And I had to, you know, why are you touching me? You know, hey, you know, that's ground for dismissal.
You had to dress her down.
I had to dress her down in front of her. Yeah.
Follow-up question. Who suffered the most from your mistake out of all of us in the retinue? Who was the one that took the brunt of her anger?
Oh, she went back up to the 4th floor.
Sorry, Craig. She took it out on you.
Yeah,
because she knows that
you're right. Puppy that day.
Well, yeah, and it's my sister, right? So I got the interrogation. And I think that's how I figured out what was happening with you and my sister, Troy. Yeah. It wasn't my sister. It wasn't Tanya that told me. Right. It was the way that I got interrogated about, you know, my sister. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? And then I went through the montage rewind of like going, oh, that moment I saw Troy do this and I saw Tanya do this. And like, I pieced it all together in that one moment. That there was something going on with you. And I also pieced together that there's got to be something going on with my queen and you. Otherwise, she wouldn't have cared so damn much. So I figured out a ton in that like 5 seconds.
That's why you're second in command. That's why you're correct.
All right. Serving the queen is my duty. What do you do for her that is also my pleasure?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one. What do I do for her that is also my pleasure? I love going through her Tinder for her. For whatever reason, she trusts me that much. And she knows that I like men, and she's like, you probably know me better than I do, second in command. And she hands me her phone. She opens up Tinder, hands me her phone, and I spend 20 minutes a day swiping left and right for her. And I really enjoy that. And I think it is a power thing. I think I feel very powerful in that moment for a lot of reasons. So that is, she made it my duty, but it's also my pleasure. I really enjoy it.
So do you tell me about your Tinder and duties?
I don't trust you and you don't trust me, Troy. Right? Remember? So I don't tell you shit.
Right. I forgot I'm the hired help.
Yeah. I think we've established that I have very clear guardrails. Yeah. I will spill my beans about, you know, things, but anything dealing with the queen, that is her and I's domain.
Sacred trust.
That's right. Maeve.
Why are some others at the royal court jealous of your relationship with the queen? Well, I mean, that's just it. I have been here the longest. Right. I make her look good, right? And she is aware that without me, she would not be where she is. And so there are a lot of people that I know are gunning for my position if they could get it. And so I have spent a lot of time in my career, not only trying to make sure that I'm doing my job, but also dodging my own attempts at people trying to shoot down my career.
Yep.
So it really is like a shootout, like the Wild West every other month when I step into this place.
Maeve, tell me if this is true. I feel like Troy, Jesse, and I know for a fact that if this thing burns to the ground, There's only one of us she would ask to start up another firm with, and you would be the first employee, if not her partner.
Yeah.
And I think the three of us know that. And I know I'm jealous of that. Does that sound right?
No, I agree. And I think the fact that like I haven't been asked to be partner is really the true impetus that is fueling my pettiness.
Do you think you know why?
Know why everyone else
You haven't been asked to be a partner.
Haven't been asked to be a partner.
Why has that offer that you think should be there? Why has that not happened?
So I am a very, by nature, jaded person because I have been the person spinning out all of these things. I've spent my entire life turning negatives into positives that aren't true positives. And I am convinced that the reason that she does not offer me partner is because she wants to keep me in a position where she can still do that. Well, without me, you wouldn't be here scenario.
She doesn't trust elevating you.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is probably a good thing, honestly.
Considering you're about to ambush her. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
turns out my queen has a great instinct.
well, I think there's definitely that sense of rivalry between us. There's that friendly, competitive sense between the two of us where she knows that I could potentially do her job.
Yep.
And I know that she knows I could do that. And I've just never, I've never pushed it.
Right.
And she is respectful of that, but also is constantly on guard that I could.
All right. Now, Jesse.
You know, start and stop a recording right before I start talking? What's the...
All right.
The queen made a dire threat before this journey began. Do you think she'll carry it out?
Ooh.
So, I know I shouldn't be saying this out loud, but she told me in the elevator the other day, we were talking about this trip to Tokyo, and I was talking about like this merger between all the, like, you know, the really pulling this together and becoming like the second biggest architecture firm in the whole, in everything. And, man, I wouldn't have thought that she'd be willing to break it all down. I wouldn't have thought, like, if this doesn't come together, she'll break up the whole company and just go to smaller parts. Like that, she wants to go to like some smaller firm where she just has like her way again and doesn't have to deal with all these extra distractions. And just, I mean, she just ripped this whole thing apart. And I mean, you expect some other company to try something, maybe come up in competition from outside, but she might just break this whole thing up.
Do you think she'll carry it out?
I don't know. I mean, I got Tokyo. I mean, Tokyo's got to go right, man. Tokyo's just got to go right.
Jesse definitely doesn't need a drink on a plane anymore.
Jesse's definitely flagged.
Yeah, and the meeting's like 3 hours after landing. So,
all right, Troy.
All right, switch screens here. You sometimes think of one member of the retinue as the queen's favorite. Who, what makes you think this? I'm gonna have to say it's Craig. You know, the pet name that she gives you, you know, that she actually says out loud and not behind closed doors. You know, the way that she comes to you when things get a little stressful, the trust that she puts in you. And I'm like, she really likes Craig. I mean, you know, and that sometimes a little twinge of jealousy comes up, but you know, I stuff it all down because that's what I do. And yeah, Craig is the love child.
What have you put in Craig's food that was a petty little thing to just when you were so jealous one day, you just put something in specifically in Craig's food that you knew he would hate? Just even though he knew it wouldn't be on purpose.
Cilantro.
It tastes like soap.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry, Craig. Did I put cilantro on your burrito taco? My fault. And it was the same at the same time. I wasn't available for our 1:15 therapy session, so I just kind of stayed in the bag. Said I was busy.
I like that.
All right, Simba. What specific restraints has the queen placed on you that don't apply to anyone else? I know how far in debt this firm is.
Oh.
I know that we're in trouble. And the restraint she has put on me is I can never, ever talk about company business or hint at the fact that I do anything more than bring her coffee, make sure she has her favorite pen, make sure that she has, that I'm carrying her bag with her moisturizer. Like I can in no way ever talk business. Maeve, Jesse, even Troy is allowed to talk about business. But she's put those restraints on me because honestly, I know more than all three of you combined about the business.
How has she personally threatened you with that, with not disclosing that knowledge?
She hasn't had to, Maeve, not directly. And the reason why is because she knows why I took the job. She knows there's a ticking time bomb, not time bomb. There's a ticking clock on when I'm going to leave. She knows why I'm here. And though I've never said it to her, she's smart. And she figured it out very early. It's part of why she put me in my place with a coffee cup at the very beginning to make sure that I understood what my role was here, even if I only see this as a temporary stepping stone. So yeah, that she's made it very clear that she sees me. She knows what my next move is, but it's also why she lets me see it at the same time, because she realizes that this is my last executive assistant job. And we're going to drop the assistant part of my name off next time.
Okay.
Do you have a backup flash drive for leverage and or blackmail?
I don't, Troy. I don't. Okay. I got to tell you that it's, again, why I struggle with the fact that there's a little part of me that wants this to fail. I am very loyal to her.
Okay.
And I did not see that coming. I thought I was going to play the part when I took this job. And I am very surprised at how much I love her and how much I care about what will happen with her. That surprised me.
Cool.
Maeve.
The queen is responsible for the death of someone you loved.
Holy shit.
That escalates.
That went crazy left.
So.
Ooh. We're all going to down this airplane.
The deciding factor of what took me from political PR to her office is that the politician that I was representing was assassinated. And I was having an illicit affair with said politician.
Oh.
She knew that was the only way to get me into her, like to break away. But I have never figured out who did it. I know that it was done. And I know because I was inside the campaign that it wasn't who it seemed to be, that it was indeed a conspiracy theory. But she's so good that the conspiracy theories never led to her. So I don't have any proof or really any inkling that she did it. Otherwise, I never would have come to her company in the first place.
So really taking us out of the game for just a second, Maeve, I love the fact that it was never made clear in that prompt that you knew it was her. I love what you just did with that.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. Is there a part of you that believes the Reddit threads that put it on her?
I think as the years have worn on and I've seen her cruelty and I've seen her ambition, there's a little tiny part of me that believes it, but the trail is so well covered,
right,
that I just I think the only hint that I had was the person who she originally hired to be her PR person that didn't work out had contacted me later and said there's something you should know. And at that point I said, no, I don't want to know. I'm working for this company. I'm trying to I don't need to know whatever bullshit you're trying to sell me. Years later, I'm like, well, maybe, but that person has conveniently not been able to be contacted since then. They stepped out of the PR world entirely.
Knowing that you're going out on a limb, you're risking exposure with the campaign that's going to hit the moment she lands in that airport. Did you bring your go bag with you and what's in it?
Ooh.
The get out of Dodge bag.
So I have 2 separate passports. One with the name that I use now and one with the name that I used to use before I started my PR campaign and changed my identity almost. I am a dual citizenship in the U.S., so I can indeed run back to my old country and start that life over.
Say it's Transylvania, you coward.
I like this, Craig.
All right, Jesse. Oh, geez.
You had a vivid dream about the queen. What about it surprised you? She had a beard?
Oh,
and I've been trying to process that for a few months. And my last therapist said it was obviously this, and I don't know. I'm not working with that person anymore. But I don't know. I'm not. She's just been morphing when I imagine her, when I think about her, and when she appears in my dreams, it's changing over time, and I don't like it, and I don't know what to do with that, and a little confused.
Time to buy a New Jersey, Jesse.
Does she look more and more like Craig?
Do you find yourself drinking more?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I don't know. Somebody over food service cut me off, so no. Not right now.
but in general.
So good. So good.
It's you, chef.
Oh,
geez. So understand, I'm going to put this up on YouTube.
I got you. I don't want you to blow your $41 a month, Craig.
To get hot in here or what?
So the one thing that
you got to read it.
Oh, sorry. What do you do for the queen that no one else could? I give her a sense of home when she's with me.
Very
peace,
nice.
Tranquility. She can let her hair down. She can she don't have to worry about makeup. She can wear sweats. and a grubby t-shirts, and we can eat junk food and just all the things that she wants to do, but she can't do in public.
We PG'd that question real quick.
Yeah, well done. Well done. So why my sister then? Right? Everything you've said about your relationship with the queen sounds very idyllic. Idyllic? Yeah, idyllic. Why my sister?
I found out about that Tinder.
Ah.
Jesse came down and he's drinking water, and he came down and he was a little too loose with the lip that day. And he mentioned what you do every day for 20 minutes.
There's a fidelity problem. Love it.
Right. So he's feeling a bit betrayed, a lot betrayed. And then your sister showed up on the scene. And, things happen.
As they say, if it's good for the gander.
Right.
Hey, I thought we were just talking about something that was fun. Like, that 20 minutes a day. Then, he started letting me join on it. And it was a fun activity going, oh, him, yes, him, no.
What did I bring with me to protect the queen? Without question, Maeve is considered the one of, if not the best PR person in the business. She has hired a service to decline job offers because she doesn't have time. And the man that she worked with on that campaign has since created his own PR firm. He represents so many people in Congress, Taylor Swift, like everybody, right? And I socked some money away and I hired him to do oppositional research on our friend in Japan. So I have got a dossier that if anybody ever tried to come after her, and I know how he works. I know that he would leak something, that he would coordinate something that could hurt my queen. And I have got the dirtiest dirt on him. And I've brought that with me. And if I smell it, if I get any hint that he is trying to be underhanded in this negotiation happening about 5 hours from now, I will hit send and it'll go everywhere. So I have brought the oppositional research that I paid for out of my own pocket.
What dirt that came up makes you possibly suspect that I am thinking of something, that I might be planning something?
Oh, I have that he has more than once reached out to people within the firm. And I am 90% confident Jesse would not reply. 90% confident Troy wouldn't reply. I'm 70% sure you would.
Okay. Gotta be getting close. What makes you want to abandon the retinue, and who besides the queen makes you stay?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because we haven't had a lot of personal connections.
Yeah.
So what makes me want to abandon the retinue? We've already talked. I have my ambitions, and I feel like my needs are not being met, and I feel like my ego is not being given the priorities that it needs. the person who would make me stay and the person who I would potentially bring with me to another place is Craig. And that is because he is good at his job. He knows what he does. I have seen the fact that you can engender loyalty in him. And I think that if I were to pull this off in a way that does not implement me at all, which I have very seamlessly worked. This isn't a plan that has been started in the past 2 months, 5 months, 6 months. This is something that's been going on for about a year. I am confident, mostly confident, that I can pull him when the company goes down and pull him into my sector.
Why not the chef or Jesse?
I think realistically, she knows that Jesse doesn't do it. She knows that Jesse is an empty chair.
Yep.
She is enough like the queen that obviously the queen sees you as more than a peon. She does not. She does not see you as someone who is important enough to influence this company. And it's not that she doesn't like you as a person. I just don't have a sense of you being able to push me further. And that is my main goal, is to get me further. Craig is someone who can make me look better.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not much you can do besides fix me a sandwich.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely licking your spoon before I give it to you.
Having had the life you've had, the experiences you've had, being driven to this world of go bags and research and all of that, much as you trust Craig, what's your lever to make sure that you could control Craig if you had to make that move?
Ooh, I know about the last job Craig had, and I know why he left that last job. And as far as I know, he and I are the only ones who know, and he doesn't know that I know yet, but that is always on the trigger.
Your card, Jesse.
When did you know you were in love with the queen? It's just a theme. It's just a theme. Look, it started with her. Like I said, our presentations went okay, and she really loved them. And I thought, it's like, well, she's really, talking that up. And then, there was that speech, and she said a couple things in reference to her group, and the bridge joke. I mean, I thought it was a funny bridge joke, and then I thought more about that bridge joke, and I thought, that's a funny bridge joke. So I think, it was that big talk back in Atlanta. That was the thing. That was the moment I knew that she kind of, she had a thing for me. So,
how did you know you were in love with her?
Well, what did I just say? Yeah.
The bridge joke really spanned the gap.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Jesus.
There it is. There it is.
Okay. What is something you do for the queen that has prepared you well for this journey? What is something I made her some of my CBD tea for her so she can relax and be chill, because she really hates flying, especially these long international flights. So as much as Craig is trying to keep me from her cabin before we take off, I bring her a French press pot of my CBD tea.
Nice. The queen once offered me comfort. What about the memory of that will stay with you forever? I have a problem. And she realized and saw through my lies and realized that when I talk about sports, I'm not just a fan, that I am betting on these teams and I have become obsessed and I have a problem. And she, because she's smart, figured out that I was very close to being evicted and I had not paid my mortgage in about 4 months. And out of nowhere, she paid for the house. She closed my loan. And she never told me she did it. And honestly, I don't know if she did. But she's the only one that could have. She's the only one that would have figured it out and known. And it almost means more to me that she didn't take credit for it and hold it over me than that she did it at all. The fact that she just did it and then didn't in any way use it as leverage or hold it above me or ask for increased loyalty, she just did it. And I think that's why, I think that solidified everything for me. That is why I love her so much. Because if she had done that and taken credit for it and been effusive about being kind towards me, it still would have been amazing. It still would have been unbelievable. But it was the fact that she didn't do that I think was the difference maker.
Nice.
Oh,
So why then?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go.
Why hasn't she helped Troy in the same way?
I don't know if I completely know the answers to that, Jesse, because I know about her and Troy. And I know he's been the only consistent thing in her Rolodex. But I also know there are other men and women in her life. I've picked many of them, right? I don't realize how much Troy gives her. I don't realize how special that relationship is. In my mind, that's just her marking another bedpost. So I don't understand the level of the relationship between her and Troy. So it doesn't surprise me, right? He's a swipe right.
okay. So my next one says, in your eyes, what makes the queen ugly? So I've been with the queen a lot longer than anybody else in the retinue. I have seen the ruthlessness that took us from the middle ground to the top. I've been part of that ruthlessness, but everything that I give her that is indeed like on that line of being like, I've played in the political field. I know how to be nasty. She takes it a step further. She always ratchets it up. And I have seen her absolutely destroy people's lives to get what she wants. And while I am willing to destroy her life because of my suspicions and because it will solidify me the power that I think I'm about to lose, I wouldn't put you all in that position.
Okay.
Ooh, this is another good one.
You were once summoned to a private meeting with the Queen. Why did you feel disappointed after? So I think at this point I'm probably actually talking to Maeve because Craig's had to go do work. But yeah, I thought this was going to be okay. Meeting up 8:00 at night on a Saturday. All right, here it is. We're calling it a meeting.
Right.
Check over some numbers. No, it was actually a meeting to check over numbers. It was because I was not I brought flowers. And she wanted spreadsheets. I didn't think she literally meant she wanted to look at the spreadsheets.
That's a good answer.
And so, yeah, my disappointment is, that was, I had these ideas. I wasn't really sure. I thought I got some, communications like we're going this way. And I went out on that limb and no, that's not what that is. That's not what that is. So, I also, I made a bit of an ass of myself, I guess, which is not great. It's not great. But she said she'd check over the numbers with my second in command. So it's taken care of.
So what did you do after you left?
Well, I mean, the bar closed. And but it was in Chicago, so there's always another. You just got to know to jump to the next. I ended up having a pretty good night, and I met some interesting folks, and had some great conversations. And there was this one guy that kept asking questions about work. I don't remember talking about saying where I worked, but I think I did. And so I don't know. It was good bounces, and then I ended up at diner at 5:00 on a Sunday morning talking about our bridge designs.
On Monday, how did she subtly reference her disappointment, or how did she subtly embarrass you about that night in a way that only you would know?
Ooh, that's a good one. In the corrected sheets that she had clearly squared up with my employee on Sunday, she titled one of the sheets after a drink that I had ordered with a lame joke about architecture and building a new relationship.
She called it the bridge to nowhere. Oh, shit.
A bridge too far.
Your card is
do
up.
You feel like one last question. Do you feel like you were tested and your insecurities are really heightened now?
No.
Okay.
I think I'm too oblivious to know if there was any sort of test or anything like that. I honestly am just trying to read this and feel so lost in the communication right now.
Okay. The Queen once asked you why you serve her. Did she get an honest answer?
And was this at work? Or was this in sweatpants?
I'm going to have to say it was in the sweatpants.
Yeah.
So, and I tell her honestly, I think that you are a fantastic woman. And I think you are beyond what the world sees yourself. And if you would just let yourself be vulnerable, you'd be surprised how much further you would go. Vulnerability. I tell her vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a strength. It shows that you can't do this alone. You need all the parts of your team to be successful. And how you treat that team will take you further than you know.
What do you love about her insistence on coddling Jesse? What does that tell you about her?
She has a cause for lost puppies. I think she views Jesse as he's smart. He can. She sees something in Jesse that Jesse doesn't see in him.
Yep.
Like Jesse's a good-looking guy in the office, been a bit of a charmer, and he's been able to get by on his charm and wits and silver tongue. But when it rubber hits the road, he always seems to fall short.
Was this before or after you found out about Craig's, or after you started dating Craig's sister and found out about Tinder?
Oh, this is definitely before.
Yeah.
Would that answer change now?
No, it's just the way I kind of brought out the 10-foot pole now.
Yep. Let's reset your expectations, right?
Right. She doesn't have that complete access. Now instead of coming over our house, we always go out.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you do for the queen that anyone else? What do you do for the queen that anyone else could? And why does she make you do it? Oh, I understand it now. Okay. So what do I do that anybody could do? Why does she make me do it? It is really complicated. I am her executive assistant. You go read the job description that I applied for. I am to take care of her schedule. I am to run errands for her. I am as much a personal assistant as I am as an executive assistant, right? It was very clear when I was hired. It's also very clear that I was overqualified for this. Then she quickly figures that out and asks me to do things that are way above an EA's station, down to me looking at contracts, me looking at replies to emails, me going over the speeches that Maeve gives her. But she still insists on making sure everybody on the Thursday all hands meeting hear her tell me, Craig, don't forget to pick up the dry cleaning.
Dick.
And it's just that one thing that just she does it on purpose to remind everybody, especially me, that I'm her executive assistant. And I mean, she's got 2 PAs. She has 2 personal assistants already that are cooking her meals at home, that are doing all of her BS. But the dry cleaning thing, she always tags me on that, and she does it publicly. And it's that duality that frustrates me.
With all of that going on, with your expanded duties, do you think that I have picked up that she is grooming you to take over for her?
If there was anybody, if she did want that, Maeve, you're the only one that would have picked up on it. I wouldn't have. You are the only one that knows her well enough from that aspect to have caught that. If that is in fact what she's trying to do, I would be oblivious to it.
Okay. The queen once expressed a desire you knew you couldn't fulfill. What have you done about it?
Here we go.
When we were just starting out, when I when she and I were more friends than we were boss and employee, before we had solidified what we were to each other, when there was a chance that we could have been closer and it sort of broke off, she expressed a desire that she were to meet someone, settle down, find some sort of space where she did not have to constantly push. And not only did I know that even as a friend, I could not help her find that space, I saw it as a weakness. That was sort of one of the moments where I was like, what am I into? What am I doing? But by that point, I was already too invested in this company.
Super interesting.
So that was kind of one of those points where it pushed me, started the downfall, right? It started the ball rolling, where I said, okay, this woman is not actually in it for the long haul.
In its own way, it explains why you are where you are now, right? And the choices you have made. That's super interesting. Ooh.
Spicy.
What promise did the queen make to you before this journey? Do you think she'll keep it? She called me in on another Saturday. Talk about this. Talk about Tokyo. Talk about all of it. And, at this point, I wasn't really sure what exactly it was going to be, but I had thoughts. She offered for me to run the whole combined engineering section. The whole thing. Second biggest firm in the world it would become. And she's like, yeah, you can run it. You can run this whole thing. And it's amazing. It's mind blowing. It's too bloody much. What the hell have I done? Yeah, she's offering that if this all comes together, if Tokyo works out. And, she's also talking to my second in command and she's also getting these numbers, and they're having meetings without me. And, am I just a face at this event? Am I just here to give like the slides? Because we got slide decks. They made great slide decks. They gave me great slide decks.
Ooh. I love these prompts. I have seen these prompts so many times, and I love every one of them. Go ahead, Troy. Sorry.
The queen once had you punished. What about the memory of that will stay with you forever? I think we got a bad health inspection. It was a 90. We got a 98 instead of 100. And she brought me up to the fourth floor, a rare opportunity to go to the fourth floor at the Thursday all hands on deck. And she reamed me out and put me on a week's leave without pay. And that has chafed me since then. And yeah, so that memory stings me.
What did she do that week for you that she thought made up for furloughing you for a week, that made you angrier at her for thinking that she thought that made up for it. So she did something that week for you that she had never done before and has not done since, that she thought was like, I'm going to do this in public, but I'm going to do this in private, and it's even Steven. And the fact that she did it made it even freaking worse for you.
She bought me a set of handmade Japanese chef knives.
Ooh.
Beautiful knives, handmade, Damascus steel, lovely. I still use them to this day. But I was so pissed that she did that in public to me.
Yep.
If that's the one thing that will bring a fight up when we have our moments, that is it right there.
I would imagine there's a sting to that gift, because that gift, even though it is way beyond anything you would have ever been able to buy yourself, right? Like, I would imagine some of those knives that she gave you was more than you make in 3-4 months.
Right.
But it also was a very clear reminder
that I still work.
That you still work. Exactly. Right. That's so good. Right.
How did I spin that event that made her look better, but almost threw you under the bus?
You
the
made
inspection?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
You made it seem like I was dipping into the wine and the spirit cabinets.
Pulling a Jesse.
Like I had all of a sudden I have a problem with the beverages, with the hard beverages. And I was slipping. And you almost made it seem like I had to go into rehab. Yeah,
I'd recommend some good ones.
Yeah.
This is mine.
When you are arguing.
Oh, sorry. No, when you are arguing, go ahead, Jesse. I'm sorry.
You're arguing about it. And she is signaling that she is done arguing with you. What's her power move?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Look, everyone who's been married. She just, and it drives me, and she knows it drives me. She just turns her back and walks away. In mid-sentence, she's like, I'm done, and just walks away.
Immediate reminder that you guys
are
cool. Yeah.
Right.
When was the last time the Queen hurt me? This morning. We got on the plane. And her cabin was perfect. I crossed every T. I dotted every I. And we went through our routine. We've been on this plane a lot. She flies all the time. And I'm always with her. And we've got like a rhythm, right? Where I knock it out of the park. She says something nice to me. I play interference. So she has a few hours in her life where staff and Congress are not on top of her. I left the executive bathroom. There's 3 bathrooms in the plane. One of them is in her cabin. It is her bathroom. She lets me use it. I left the bathroom. She was coming in. And it was so quick that I might have made it up in my head. I am 90% sure this happened. There's 10% of me thinks that I have manufactured this memory. But what it is that she grabbed me by the arm as I was leaving the bathroom and she was coming in, and she pulled me close. She said, if you touch Jesse, I will ruin you.
Oh, shit.
And it was so shocking to me. And because I had thought I was at her level. I had thought I had allowed myself to get built up. I thought I was already working at that next level. And the idea that somehow she understands my feelings for Jesse, who I've revealed to nobody, including fucking Jesse and my fucking sister, the fact that she figured that out was so humbling. That it had nothing to do with Jesse. It had nothing to do with it. Was the fact that in that one split second I realized I was nowhere close to where she is and who she is. And it was so shocking to me that there is a part of me that's not sure it happened. That really questions my own memory, because there has been no evidence since then. Everything went back to routine. Everything went back to normal. And we have been 2 hours now into this flight. And I am not sure she said it to me. But it hurt. And it didn't hurt me for anything other than it was humbling. It was immediately like, I work at a different level than you. So this fantasy you have that you could work at my level, because I cannot even comprehend her figuring that out.
I like it.
Nice. Nice.
How can people tell just by looking at you that you serve the queen? Do you mind it being so obvious?
Oh my goodness, this is good.
It's the great game.
Despite the fact, so I'm going to answer this kind of in reverse. Despite the fact that I am ambitious, that I want my own run at being the person in charge, at taking her place, at being who she is, I enjoy the power that I have gotten from being her PR person in that specific space, right? So, like, obviously to the rest of the world, I am not much of anything because they don't know who I am. I collect that paycheck. I do a good job. I run all of the things that make her look good, that take away all of the harshness and cruelty that she can show, and make the company look more human, make her look more human. But in those spaces, in those professional spaces, and in the building, I think everybody knows that, like, this is what I'm doing. And this is how we're spinning this to make this company more. It's not that we are the best architecture firm in the world. It's that we let everybody know we're the best architecture firm in the world.
So how can people tell just by looking at you that you serve her?
I think that she has people that are her top level people. She has a very special set of lapel pins that she made for all of us. They're that kind of thing that lets, basically, it's the golf jacket, right?
Right.
It's the master's jacket. So I wear that pin whenever I go to meetings, whenever I am the one having to talk to people, whenever I go to other companies to work with their, like, whenever we have to do a cross company, conglomeration, or not what's the word I'm looking for? Collaboration.
Yep.
Yeah. I wear that pin, and I wear it proudly because, like, here I am doing this thing, and I'm doing it for her. But, like, at the same time, the PR people know that why we are where we are.
Yeah. This is a good one.
How does the queen remind you of her status while on the journey?
Of her status.
Her status. I mean, it's already her jet.
Because the fucking plane has your name on it, bitch.
You got your own private stateroom.
Whiskey glass has your name on it. What? I think she does it through intermediaries.
Ooh.
I think that when she wants to ask me a question or something like that, while we're on the plane, I'm getting more and more that she will go through Craig. Or that she will go through Maeve.
Oh, that's good.
And so it's not just status, but distance that's being really emphasized more. And I don't know why, for lots of things, but it seems like since we got on this plane, it's been more of a thing.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, like 2 hours in, something shifted. And I don't think she's actually said a word to me since. And she just does this thing, when she's nearby where she just sort of keeps on walking.
Ooh.
Ooh.
The CBDT is kicked in.
It's on you, Troy.
Oh, there's a rumor about you and the queen.
I know it. But I think the key is how did it start, right?
Yeah, and is it true? Well, the rumor is that we're, seeing each other. And that's floating around the court, so to speak. How it started.
That's the big question.
So it was definitely, my cafe stays open till like 3, 4 o'clock. It's a corporate cafe. So it was, I was at the end of the day, I'm doing the books, ordering food, making a menu, checking the menu, stuff like that. And she just appeared. And she asked for something. She says, I don't want anything on your menu. If you could make one last meal for me before I fired you, what would you make? And I was like, oh. So I made her, what would I make her? I made her paella. I had enough ingredients to make a paella. And had some leftover seafood, just getting rid of it's brunch, so I'm getting rid of all this.
Paella is, right?
Yeah. So I'm making this paella, and I tell her by tradition, we eat right out the pan. We share. I get 2 wooden spoons, and we share this small paella together, and we just talk. And that's how it started.
Who saw you? Who started the rumor?
It was Maeve. She like a bad refrigerator. Can't keep nothing.
Very nice.
You didn't come in. She just happened to walk by the cafe and was like, what the fuck?
And kept on walking.
It kept on walking.
Saw the Lady in the Tramp scene. And
yeah, right.
But I think Maeve wouldn't have walked right off to the water cooler and been the person starting the rumor. Maeve, how would you have launched that rumor?
Oh, it wasn't you. Nice call, Jesse.
Yeah.
So I think that this is another little way, like this is a thing we can do. This is a little crack. So what I did was, I know a couple people's email, and I know a couple people that don't check their email regularly. So I was able to hack into somebody's email, send it out to the certain people that I do know that are the office, blah, 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 and was able to sort of like anonymous it to that point where like the person whose email it was, it wouldn't get back to them necessarily. But that email, once it just gets floating around, it doesn't even have to stay. It doesn't even have to exist, right? It just has to get started.
It's okay to say it was Susan in accounting. That's okay.
Right.
It was definitely Susan.
Why was it Susan in the account?
1,000% it was Susan in the account.
Oh God!
I can see that. I can see you walking by with your smartphone, just taking a quick picture as you're walking by and sending out the photos. Like, what the hell?
So the queen knows something about me that no one else does. What is it? She knows I'm gay. And I did not know that she knew that until about 45 minutes ago. And I'm pretty sure that happened. And there's only one person on this plane that I wanted to know that. And she sure as hell wasn't that person.
How does that make you feel?
Really small. I think that's the pain of it all, Troy. It's just, I know I am smart. I know I am more than where I am now. I know how my story ends. And I got to tell you, the painful thing about all of this was the humbling of it. Like, for her to say to me, the reason I give you my Tinder is because I know you like guys too. That wouldn't have humbled me. It wouldn't have diminished me at all. It was her knowing my innermost desires and me thinking there's no breadcrumbs I have left her. Yet she found exactly where I was hiding. It just, no bueno.
When
Dave. Oh, go ahead, Jesse, please.
When my conversation with you and my fumbled approaches, not approaches, the bad game, and the airplane, which makes you more uncomfortable or makes you cringe? The fact that she threatened you, or the fact that that's just been outed and now you're just, somebody's coming right at you in this space? Like,
it is so complicated, Jesse, because part of my attraction to you was the danger. The danger in the fact that my gaydar went off. I knew you were capable of at least being experimental, right? And that you were smart enough, and I know I'm smart enough, that we could have pulled it off. We could have had our fun and nobody would have figured it out. Even Maeve. When she just pulled away the sheet and just exposed all of it in that moment, this is really messed up. But what that did, Jesse, is it changed my attraction towards you. Suddenly, in a very embarrassing, like, I'm shamed by the fact that I now realize why I was drawn to you. I was drawn to you for very bad reasons. And when she just tore that away so naked like that, I'm like, nah, no. Like, it exposed me at such a level that I don't like myself right now. Because suddenly you are not that attractive to me. And suddenly I'm realizing that it was the situation and the deception and the game that was attractive to me. It may not have been you. And that says a lot about me.
Damn it, Jesse.
But I don't like that about myself, right? Like, realizing that I'm that person is really hard for me. And that's why those 2 seconds as I was walking out of a fucking bathroom and she was walking in and she grabbed my arm, those 2 seconds destroyed me. I'm not who I thought I was.
Interesting. Okay. What is the most difficult part of this journey? What makes you so adept at overcoming? So the most difficult part is that I know what's coming. I know that the minute we break down, all hell is going to
You've pulled the trigger. We haven't figured that out yet.
Right. Yeah. I know that the minute we step down, this is set up to not even get us into the building with this Japanese company. Like the other company is going to have popped that assassin piece right there. So I know it's coming. And the only thing that makes me so adept at overcoming it is my experience in the political arena. Not the first time I've done this.
Yeah.
Right? Not the first, not the second time I've done this. I know what I'm getting into. I don't think the stakes have ever been this high. Because in the political campaign, if the politician goes down, I just move to the next thing, right? If she finds out, she's taking me with her. If any of you find out, you can potentially take me with you. So I am sitting in a room full of rat traps, and there's a lot of cheese, right? So I am nervous, probably more on edge than anybody's ever seen me before, but I'm trying to play it off as much as possible.
Got to answer the second part of this question, though, Dave.
What makes me so adept? I think it's my training as a political PR person. I know, I've been here before. I know how these things work. I just don't think the stakes have ever been as big.
For your plot and your plan, you're nervous. I imagine you're checking things. What is something that leaks? Starts that just a little trickle that's starting to leak too early.
One of the smaller news companies, the ones that nobody really pays attention to, the conspiracy theory news people have somehow picked it up. And it's not anything I was expecting. I was not expecting this to happen. I had everything perfectly calculated and planned. So I am trying my best to keep everyone else off of the internet. I am trying to keep you guys occupied so that you are not there. The only problem is Craig is running interference with the Queen. So I don't know what she's doing. But you guys, I am keeping you off the internet, where I am feeding you more drinks. I am keeping Craig distracted, and I am making sure that the hostess is in your space as much as possible.
You are the puppet master.
All right.
In your eyes, what makes the Queen beautiful? I mean, Maeve, that's a really weird question, but I mean, yeah, she's just a powerful figure, and I mean, obviously, she's decently fit and all of that, but she's beautiful because she loves me, us. She loves us, right? Yeah, and it's that overflowing feeling that she has for you. Of course, you hand it back. You love people because they love you, and you see people as beautiful because they see you as beautiful, and that's what it is. So of course she's beautiful. That's a weird question, Maeve.
And she hands you another old fashioned.
Well, you got food services to go back to giving me booze again. So you're my best friend for the rest of this trip. Yeah.
I bet.
It's you, Troy.
All right. Ooh, when was the last time the Queen used you?
Used you? Oh my God, that's a good one.
Ooh.
Used is that's capital U.
Yeah.
used.
God. It was a month before I found out about this Tinder thing.
Mm.
We had plans to go out in public for the first time to kind of embark on this new relationship, you know. And when we got to the event, it was really for me to cook.
Oh.
She had bought all the ingredients and had everything ready. And it was like a high level executive meeting. And she had me prepare the meal for that night.
Oh.
And that was the beginning of the end for me, because it made me realize right. That made me realize that I'm nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing to her.
Yeah.
What comment did she make about your knives? To the table.
To the one she bought me as an apology for the week off, or just my personal knives?
So when you showed up, you roll out your kit. What comment does she make to the room about the knives that you brought?
Oh, this is when she presented me with the new knives. She said...
So you're surprised to see that you didn't show up to cook. She's like, here's your kit to cook. By the way, go to.
Right. And she said, a dull knife makes a dull chef, and presented me with these knives. I was like, this motherfucker. and I cooked because that's what I do. That's my passion. That's my glory. But I made angry food that night. Everything was spicy. Everything was super seasoned. Like, it was angry food that night.
Yeah.
Oh, here we are.
We land. The card is the queen is under attack. Do you defend her? We land. We're going through immigration. We get to the main terminal. We start walking to baggage claim. I'm the only one that speaks Japanese. And I see the headline. Maeve, Jesse, Troy, you guys do not know Japanese. I see the headline. And I assume it is our host that has done this. And I ask her to wait a moment. I need to go to the bathroom. She waits. I go into the men's bathroom. I pull out my phone and I hit send. So my answer to this question is yes, I do defend her. I do take advantage of what I have done, the planning that I have done. And even though I would come out, if she fell here, I would be okay. And that honestly would be easier. And for a half second, I look at my phone in my draft folder and I look at that email that goes to the Times, the Tribune, all of them. And I hit send. So my answer is yes, I do defend her. Maeve?
I make a good pretense. I do all the right things. I make a show of it. I immediately go into, as soon as we, you translate for us, as soon as we go, I go into the right things. I say, hey, you need to get out of public view. We need to get into our cars as soon as possible, get to the hotel as soon as possible. I do everything that it looks like I'm supposed to do. But this is my kill job, right? I let as much get through as I can without making me look bad, without making it look like this is my fault for not spinning this in the way that I can. Basically, I have set it up to the point where even the best PR person cannot spin this to help her. So I do all of the pretenses of defending her, but I'm just letting little things get through.
What, Maeve, is the one, not little thing, big thing that only you know is the last straw? So I feel like the Queen watches you act and never doubts you, never suspects you. But there's one thing I feel like you do that is the kill shot. What is the last advice you give her that ends it?
I think that when everything starts coming down, when all of the pieces are falling and the media is just clamoring for something, I tell her that she just needs to speak from her personal experience, to speak from the heart. I don't actually give her a pre-made, pre-planned speech, knowing that she's going to screw it up, knowing that she's going to pull a George W. Bush. I let it happen. And that way I can blame it on, she went off the script.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I can't stop her. Like, she pulled a Paula Deen. I can't stop that. Like,
Jesse, the Queen is under attack. Do you defend her?
I don't understand fully what Craig or Maeve is talking about. I'm still trying to shake it off until we get to the hotel room after being ushered through, or the roughly hour-long private car ride, if it's not there. And it's over that car ride and in the hotel room, I start getting the emails from my team back home. And they're trying to coach me and trying to tell me, hey, you need to pivot. You need to be prepared for this. You need to make these adjustments. And I'm just trying to follow it. But, it's double vision here. I start processing more and more of like what needs to happen to try and spin this and support and, make sure we hold things together. And I see the Queen come out of a meeting with Maeve and she touches me. She's thinking, for hours, this woman's been ignoring me, but she puts a hand on my shoulder and says that she can trust me to do a good job at the presentation, and that she can, she's going to have to do a bit more talking. She's going to have to do a lot of hand holding, but she knows that I can hold up the tech because she's going to have to step back from that a bit. And inspired by that, by knowing that she's in trouble, by knowing Tokyo's got to land, I go off script. And I start talking, and halfway through the presentation, which is already a hot mess, I start talking. I was like, look, you guys should really just trust this woman because I love this woman, because she loves us. She loves all of this. And this is, she just runs a fantastic organization. Yes, she clashes with people sometimes, but it's because the people she fights with, the people she fires, is because she loves this place. And it is just a meltdown. And she has to fire me on the spot. And then she has to pick up this nuclear meltdown of a meeting while I wander off into the streets and just.
Did you defend her?
I tried.
Yeah. Troy, the queen is under attack. Do you defend her?
I work on the first floor. I know nothing. I'm the peon. I'm the servant. So how can I defend her? So I just sit back and just pure amazement of what the hell's going on. You know, my phone is going off from my staff because everybody's wondering if they're going to have a job. And I assure her, I said, you have a skill that you can take anywhere in the world. You'll be fine. We worked at the Queen's Palace, so to speak. We'll be okay. So it's not that I don't defend her. I just don't know how to defend her because I've never been on the fourth floor.
What does she do during all of this to try to use you for comfort?
Oh.
I think she just tries to have a private moment with me after the meltdown with Jesse and this whole swirl of news and just basically burning of the kingdom. We're being sacked, and I just look at her. I say, you know, Your Majesty, I've told you many times how you treat people will tell you how far that you'll go in this world. And karma is a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we have to be broken to be fixed. And I love you, and I always will. And this will pass. But I don't know how to help you. I don't know what kind of help I can give you, except be your friend.
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Does that conversation, does that speech happen at the entryway of your hotel room door?
Mm-hmm.
And do you then, at midnight, do you then close the door or do you leave it open?
Oh, I close the door.
Yeah.
All the stuff that she's done, the dinner, the tender, you know, the week off without pay, this embarrassment, all the negative stuff that's happened over the last few months. And then, you know, so I'm like, and I said, I wish you luck. And, you know, when you're ready to talk for real, I'm here. And I close the door.
How does that event further sabotage her publicly?
She's never been rejected by anybody before.
Oh.
She's always been the one who lets people go. She's never been let go. So
you fired her.
Yeah, I fired her. So she's definitely on a spiral, you know.
So she finally goes and sleeps with Jesse?
After she fired you? Or before she fires you?
All right. So I'm confident in saying that I've played this more than the three of you. This game never ceases to amaze me. Never ceases to amaze me. When I knew there was a new edition of this that came out and I saw the Queen portraits that were going to be in this box, I immediately bought it. And I'm taking it to camping in a month or 2 weeks. There's been many games that have built themselves off of this game. And they're not just the storyteller games, but any game that has these very specific but open prompts in them are only here because of Alex. And I've played this. I think this is probably the 8th time I've played this game. And I've never had the same story. I've always had similar prompts or the same prompts. And it's different every freaking time. every freaking time. And you've heard me on the podcast, you've heard me elsewhere just talk about like, this is the game. This is the game. So that's my thoughts. Jesse, I know for a fact you've never played this game because like 3 hours ago, I reached out to you and said, you want to play?
This is 2 hours into the recording, probably not much good for anybody. But if you're scouting this game and thinking about, does this work for first timers? I got texted, basically, can you sub in? And had a kid in a bath, and so I had zero prep. I showed up for this game having heard it existed, and the instructions I received to play were what we recorded. The walkthrough, the first slides. And so I found this absolutely playable. I think we had a good story and really enjoyed the path. We're not rolling dice. We're not killing dragons. This is really structured long form improv, but I'm down for it. This is fun.
What worked?
So what worked is the cues force you to think in certain directions. Sometimes they fit exactly with where you are, and sometimes they require you to do something completely different. I think Craig's story in particular had a couple hard curves that happened within them, whereas I think a lot of mine filled in okay. But the second part that works is having the teammates who will ask you questions to go, you know what, spice this up a bit. Give me some more.
That's the secret to this game.
So,
I agree.
That's where it starts getting really good.
Maeve.
So a couple things. I watched you guys play this last camping trip. I was a little burned out, so I didn't play, but I watched you guys play it. And that one was definitely a more fantasy theme.
Yep.
And it went in a very different way. And that's one of the strengths of this game is that you literally, there's no way you play it twice and get the same results and same story. I read a lot of tarot. I've been doing it for years and years and years. And I swear the deck knows. And part of that is because the questions are so well built that they can fit into. So when Troy kept getting the weird relationship questions, I was like, no, that's just how, because it happened in the game we played camping too, right? One person decided that they were the paramour of the queen. And then it just kept building from there, which is a huge strength of this game. The other thing that I think is really cool is we didn't do fantasy. Yeah. I'm not a corporate person. Jesse, you're a professor. You're not a corporate person. You're a corporate person, Craig. We know you are.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
Right.
I've worked corporate.
We were able to build a realistic, interesting, just like when we played Alice is Missing, right? There was no world. When we started 2 hours ago, there was no world. Our characters didn't exist. And the cool thing is that not only did we build our characters and our stories, we built a queen, right? Yeah. She was just a picture 2 hours ago. And in between this time, not only is she a more complex character, but she feels like a real character, right? Like she's not real. Just the stereotype of a character. This is, we could have started out. I mean, she started out a little Devil Wears Prada, but we got the sense that she is a real person and a real character. And that's a strength of the game. It's also a strength of the table, right? Like, yes. I love everybody here, and I am confident enough to say that in the realm of RPGs, we fall into an almost like professional category. We've all kind of been doing this so much that I feel like we are, above that sort of person who just picks up D&D every other month, right? And but I don't think that you have to be the world's strongest role player to enjoy this game. I think it's fun. I think if you bring it out in between your D&D campaigns, everybody will have a great time at the table.
Troy.
Well, this is also my first time playing, and I got that text from Discord. Hey, y'all want to play for the Queen? I'm like, hey, I'm your Huckleberry, So,
one of the greatest lines in movie history.
Right, exactly. And I love it. I mean, it's a way to be creative without it being forced.
Yeah.
Everyone contributes. You build on these things. And the prompts, like he says, like, why am I getting all the relationship questions?
But here's what's crazy about that, Troy.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're wrong, Maeve, but it is the context that the card is flipped in.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it was because Troy flipped those cards that they became the complicated relationship cards.
Mm-hmm.
But you could go back and look at it again. Go watch the replay, right? And you'll see that there's cards that I flipped, that you flipped, that Jesse flipped, that could have just as easily been flipped by Troy, and they still would have been the complicated relationship card. And that's
exactly. Craig, you've introduced me to a lot of different games, just being part of the Third Floor Wars crew, and the games that like you said, we're not rolling dice. We're not in this particular version of this game. We're not killing dragons and shooting fireballs into a small room. We're just 4 people sitting around the table creating a story.
Yeah, it's cool.
And it's like we can shuffle the dice again, shuffle the cards again, and it'll be a totally different game.
I think about, Troy, what if we had grabbed your skeleton horrific queen? The 4 of us would have ran with that too.
Right.
And had something very different with the same prompts.
Right.
That's cool. Right. That's cool.
I think there's one interesting thing we didn't bring up. We didn't use the X card.
Yes.
And I wonder if another group wouldn't have walked into, if you follow the same dialogue, but a group of people, I mean, Greg, I know you pretty well. Maybe I know you. First time meeting Troy. Hi. But we went pretty far into somebody like exploring their sexuality and being confused.
Yep.
And we went straight into an outing and in a pretty aggressive way.
Yep.
And I hope that anybody watching this is not offended and that we did okay by it. But it strikes me as that's one of those questions where a group could stumble into that path, and somebody in the room would need to be able to say, guys, nah, not this room. We're not doing this. We're not going down that path. And I like that the game provides a vehicle for saying no, where we felt comfortable going as far as we did in the way we did, just saying like, look, this is what the story we're going for, story we're following rather. But I like that the game provides a tool for somebody to, quietly say, no, thanks. Let's redirect.
Yeah. But what Craig did, it was very subtle. He asked your permission if that was okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because he swapped a gender and I agreed and ran with it. Right. Door opened and I decided to jump through, and at that point we were off.
Right.
And you've got the queer referee here, right?
And they would be like,
So this gets into a bigger thing, and it's been a soapbox that I've stood on for a while, which is there are some that see safety tools like the X card as limiting. I think it's exactly the opposite. I think it's shockingly freeing. I knew I could push a little bit on this theme that came out of nowhere, a decision I made somewhat flippantly. Like, I think I want to play here. Let's play here. This is more interesting to me. I knew at any point, Jesse could play the X card. Maeve could play the X card. Troy could I could play the X card. And we would be safe. We would rewind and we wouldn't go there. Whereas I would second guess all of those things if that X card did not exist.
Right.
And I feel like you can have an issue with safety tools. That's fine. You don't like lines and veils. You don't like the X card, but don't tell me it's because it limits you. Because I have seen firsthand on this channel, because anybody who watches this channel, the safety tools are always in play, even though you may never see them. And at this point have never been invoked. But it gives us freedom to know that I can go +1, because at any point, Maeve, Jesse, or Troy could play the X card and go, no, I don't want to do that. And if that didn't exist, I would second guess myself. And I think I think safety tools expand your options. They don't limit them. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys know the routine. Like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. This was fun.